Hello everyone, welcome to my new video where we are going to talk about how we can make use of the Google Cloud Storage bucket into our Dataproc cluster to store our files and other data. The same bucket I'm making use of that inside my PySpark application as well. So first of all, I'm going to show how we can create the or launch the Jupyter notebook into our Google Cloud where we are going to work with the PySpark. So if you have not seen my previous video, how we can create our Dataproc cluster, you can just watch my previous video and you will have this page open over here. And for logging in, how we can create the Google Cloud account and other details, you can watch my previous videos. So let's start. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. So first of all, we need to see what are the available services which we are having inside our Google account. So I'm going to click on this Dataproc and I'll be checking whether my Dataproc cluster is up and running or not. Then I'll be showing you more detail based on that. So you can see my cluster name is the data edge cluster and it is up and running. So let's double click over here to see all the details of this. So very first tab you can see over here with the monitoring, which will be showing you the monitoring details of the applications which you are going to run. It is basically the yarn memory and other details, so as SDFS capacity. So we'll talk later on about this one. Then we have the job section over here and we have the VM instance. So currently no jobs is running. And if we see the VM instances here, you can see it is a one master and two worker node cluster. And if you wish to connect with the master node, you can simply click over here and click on this open in browser window. So that's the again another thing. We'll pause over there for that. Now we have the configuration section over here, and if you see, it will show you what actually the region zone and other things of this Dataproc cluster. Now we are more interested over here for the web interfaces. Click over here and you can see we have the links for different web interfaces, and you can see Yarn, MapReduce, Spark, History Server, Jupyter Lab. So we are more interested now in the Jupyter. So if you wish, you can click over here, and Jupyter Lab also you can click and see what actually it is providing to us. Then if required, we can be able to see this Spark History Server also. This is going to maintain the history of all the different Spark applications which we are going to execute it. Yeah, so this is the Jupyter notebook over here, and it's provide basically with the two different folders like the GCS, Google Cloud Storage, and local storage. So what we need to do and how we are going to work on this one. So simply we need to select this new and we need to click on this PySpark button, and there is a common here as you can see this one. So nothing, what you have to do, you can just see, click on the different tabs. You have to wait for a particular time. And then if you see inside this, again, we will try whether we are able to launch this bypass cell or not. So still not. Then we can see this GCS. And again, we can go back over here and we can see our local disk. Means everything is fine, but why we are not able to launch? So simply refresh and wait for a few seconds, and then you can try to launch that PySpark. It will work. Most of the times it is giving the error, something like that. But now I am sure that you will be also able to launch this one after waiting for a few seconds over here. And We'll quickly jump to the Jupyter Lab sections over here. What we have launched from the Dataproc web interface. From here, Jupyter Lab, and this is the tab where the Jupyter Lab is running, and it's nothing but simply the terminal-based window for our master applications. You can see it is running with the root user to our master node cluster over here. So it's like the terminal window. From here, you can be able to execute all the Linux commands based on your requirements. You can see one of the command is the listing all the applications available over here. Even though if you wish, you can be able to launch the PySpark shell from here also. Let me show you how you can be able to launch it. So simply hit the PySpark and you will be able to see this PySpark shell over here. So it will provide you the only ideally the command line interface for working with the PySpark. And because of that, I don't want to write the code into this terminal window. So what we can do, we can simply go back to our, and you can see a Spark, and it has been launched with the Python 3.7.4 with the Spark 2.4.8, and my Python is ready with the Spark over here to execute it. But I'm not interested much more to writing the code over here. So we'll quickly jump over here in this PySpark section. And in these sections, what I'm going to show, whether my Jupyter notebook is working fine or not. So we can simply test like this one by executing the normal Python command over here. And we can see that it's printing the output. So it means our Jupyter notebook is ready to work with our PySpark applications. So for more videos, stay tuned.